Yo, good evening. It is April 23rd, and I haven't recorded one of these in a while, so I thought I gotta get myself back into practice. Did a couple of interviews the past few weeks, months. Still trying to do promotional stuff and get my name out there, get my voice out there. I'm still real bad at it, and even worse, I'm not even eloquent half the time, so I need more practice. Opportunity came up today. Got tagged in a few people arguing online about something. This happens from time to time. Themes pop up where I'm asked, do you feel bothered when people post your stuff or repost your stuff? And I don't know. I guess when you're asked the same question enough times, it's kind of like, gotta at least try to articulate my thoughts on it. So instead of tweeting about it, which, I mean, it's Friday night, we all have better things to do, I thought I'd quickly just just articulate what's going on in my head and whatever people can make of it, whatever they want to make of it. So I won't name names, doesn't matter. People are contacting me saying someone posted my work, didn't credit me. This happens actually all the time, and my position on that is that that's the nature of cartooning on the internet. It sucks. The ideal thing is that you want to be credited, but how am I gonna force anybody to do that? I mean, half the time somebody could just post my work and they don't know who made it. The comic in question was not signed by me because, to be honest, I was surprised that anyone liked it, or that it was even remotely as popular as it actually turned out to be. It was the one, I'll post it here. It's the stick figure cop. I didn't sign it because I thought it was just like a throwaway, comic I drew in a few minutes. I'm like, yeah, this isn't going to spread around, and it turns out that it did. So, stupid me. The lesson there is sign everything you make. There have been times where people, either by algorithmically or on purpose, my name was removed. In those cases, F those people, for sure. But a lot of the time, it's the internet. People post stuff all the time, right? So I really, it's nice. I appreciate people tagging me, not necessarily to alert me or anything, but like, hey, if you like this comic, here's the artist. If you want to check out more of his stuff, it's a good. There's a positive way to credit someone, I suppose. The negative way to do it is, to be all like, hey, why'd you post this guy's stuff without crediting him? And then it turns into like this stupid slap fight internet blood sport. Like, hey, you're a jerk. And people are like fighting on my behalf. How do I put this? If it's a smaller account than mine, and believe me, I still feel like a small creator most of the time. It's not a big deal, if people don't know who it is, or maybe they don't, maybe they don't like me and they just don't want to give me credit. Fine. In cases where it's like a bigger account, trying to recycle, I call it meme recycling, where they intentionally be like, hey, here's this JPEG I found. I guess that's plausible. But I don't know. I can't prove that they knew who it was that drew it. So what's the point of getting upset? That's my position. It happens all the time. For anyone who ever would consider making comics online, I mean, the lesson is always sign your stuff. Don't always put it on the bottom corners, because then sites like, I guess I should name them, give them free publicity, but certain sites have a thing where they just put a stamp over certain corners of JPEGs as if it's like, hey, this is ours. And, there's really nothing you can do about it. You get upset and then give them free publicity. Or this is a theme that keeps popping up career-wise for me the past few months, is just like, I guess once you're at a certain point, you just got to let people slap you, and then you just got to take it. When you have enough HP to take it, I guess you just got to let people throw tomatoes at you, I suppose. I mean, I've heard recently that, not recently, past few months, X, Y, and Z people have been talking smack about me. And it's like, And they don't want me to respond. They just want to kind of, that's the nature of the internet, right? People talk smack about each other, and that's the content they produce. However, the content I produce is comics, right? And even talking, I'm not that articulate. I don't think. I'm not working with a script now or anything. I'm just talking. I guess the way that I communicate is through comics. That's probably where I'm most comfortable. So yeah, that's my statement, I guess, is the most positive way to handle something like that. My position is if anyone sees my stuff, no need to argue with the person posting. Just be like, oh hey, art by G Prime 85, and if you want to check out his stuff, give him a follow. And that's it. We'll just keep it positive. I think that's the classy way to handle these things. I don't personally enjoy arguing, especially online, because most of them are just slap fights where it's like, no, you didn't win. Any debate in air quotes online just kind of turns into people throwing insults at each other, getting each other more and more pissed off until, nothing happens, So I don't know about you guys, but I have better things to do with my Friday night, including doing nothing. I think that's a better use of my time. It's just relaxing and reading a book or listening to an audiobook, washing dishes, things that are actually productive. Or in Tekken 7 right now, I'm working on getting to 7th Dan rank with my Leo. I get counter hit a lot in Tekken 7. So I have to try to learn to stop pressing buttons and learn more about frame data and stuff. I haven't played the game in a long time. And I'm sure everyone cares very much about that. But actually, there are more things that are even better than Tekken. For instance, I'll post it here, is Mary Sue issue 3. It's finally finished. I'm in the process of cleaning up the colors. This is the part of production, if anyone's interested, where I paint all my pages in RGB, red, green, blue. But then there has to be a conversion to CMYK, which is cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, which is how most printers, high-speed printers work. And what happens when you convert RGB to CMYK manually is that a lot of colors that are particularly radiant or saturated tend to get muted or disappear. So for instance, I'm drawing a lot of water in this issue. So aqua colors and greens tend to turn into like a pale blue instead of a white like they should. So that's, I have to go through every panel of every page and make sure that the colors are just right. So that's going to take this weekend. I am ultra behind schedule on Mary Sue. For anyone who's backed it, I said I was going to release it in spring. It is currently spring. And I've got 2 issues left after this. Each one of them is like around 24 pages. So the total is 24 times 3, which is a number that I'm tired, 70 something. 70, whatever. I'm sorry, I'm tired. Yeah, so that's a lot of comic to draw. But the positive thing is that I have no other projects on my menu. Last month, we released the ABCs of Morality, which some of you might have seen, which was a lot of fun to draw, but it took up a whole month and a half of my schedule a couple months ago. So that interrupted Mary Sue. But my promise to all backers of Mary Sue is that even though it's running late, I'm not going to accept any new projects or contracts. 99% sure I'm not going to, unless it's like a hyper, unless Donald Trump contacts me, I have to put it on pause. I have to put Mary Sue on pause again. But that's not going to happen. So yeah, I'm working on Mary Sue. The goal is to do 1 page a day, 1 issue per month for the next 2 months. I want to see if I can follow that pace, because if I can, then I can draw professional quality comics, in air quotes, on a regular schedule. And the rest of my year could be doing that, plus doing my usual satirical strips. Because my goal on Patreon, if anyone's curious, I've written this down, is to earn a certain amount per month. And then I'll draw those comics full time and kind of flip my schedule. So I'm drawing comic strips, socio-political, satirical comic strips. That'll be my full-time job. And then I'll draw comics like Mary Sue part-time on the side. But right now it's kind of the reverse. It's sort of like whichever job gets me, whichever helps me earn a living is what I'll spend most of my time on. So that's pretty much an update of what I'm doing. And again, I see the arguments online sometimes. I try not to check notifications too much. Online fights are just, they're so dumb. I get sometimes people saying like, hey, you should debate so-and-so. And it's like, why would anyone want to do that? Why would anyone want to like, because these arguments are going to be like, I try to come in there trying to keep it classy, and then they're going to be like, oh, why did you draw this comic? And they'll pull out some obscure thing that something that looks really bad, and maybe it was really in a poor, tasteless joke or something, but it was a comic, whatever. And then, I have to defend myself, and it's like this freaking inquisition, and then I get pissed off, they get pissed off. They earn points by insulting me, and their audience is clapping, and I'm like, is there any worse way to spend an evening than to just voluntarily going into an inquisition or putting someone through that? I don't consider that fun. Like, I don't want to dunk on people. I'd rather have 2-hour conversations with people, like, even if I disagree with someone, like a respectful conversation where, like, let's say even I disagree with someone on like, what should we do about that subject, modern policing or something, right? And we both have opposite positions, but it's like, look, we'll agree that we want the best for everybody, right? But maybe we disagree on how to get there. But hey, you're really cool anyway. I like talking to you, even though we disagree. And then we make friends, right? I think that's way better than calling people names and being like, oh, what about this instance? And then we pull out statistics and, oh God, why would I want to have that conversation? It's not for me. I do my debating in air quotes with my stylus. I draw things for fun. Hopefully people have a laugh. We share it around and we move on with our day. A comic doesn't take more than a few seconds to read, right? It takes me a few hours to draw, and then we move on with our day. So that's my statement. There's no point in, arguing with people. So, I do appreciate being tagged in, if someone posts my stuff, if someone famous does it and they don't know who it is, just be like, oh, like Kevin Sorbo yesterday or 2 days ago, verbatim said one of my comic strips. I'll post it here. And then I jumped in the replies like, oh, hey, I drew that comic strip, Kevin Sorbo, we should collab, wink, And it's, I'm not going to call him names. He probably didn't know who I was. It doesn't matter. So, but yeah, that's my attitude now is like, I never want to be that artist who's like, don't you know who I am? This is all still very new to me, and I never want to be that person anyway. No one wants to be obnoxious like that. At least I don't. I just want people to like my stuff. So links will be in the description if anyone wants to read Mary Sue. I do post all my newest pages on Patreon. That's where I think I'll direct people to most of the time. Like, that's where I want to build up. If people want to support me, Patreon's the best way. You can buy my books on Etsy, of course. And yeah, that's it. I just wanted to check in. Friday night. Say hi to everybody. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and don't spend too much time online arguing. There's so many more fun things to do, and the weather's so great. Let's go outside. Let's enjoy spring, and not pull each other into internet blood sports where nobody wins except barbarians. And I am not a barbarian, and I don't think my listeners are either. You guys are classy. Let's keep it classy. All right.